Right, now moving on, Bugembe Town Council is one of the 4 of its kind that makes up Jinja municipality. Its rise to prominence is attributed by doing business coupled by good transport, hospitality and security, among others. In this report, our crew took to Jinja for a tour and could not resist the temptation to pass Bugembe Town, where many people do not sleep. Let's take a look.
Bugembe Town Council is just 2 kilometers from the mother town of Jinja, with a resident population of about 110,000 people. This town has the biggest population compared to other town councils in Jinja municipality, although majority of them spend their working days out of this town.
So from town to Jinja, it takes you just a few minutes. However, as the population grows, then it creates opportunities for business in terms of guest houses and hotels. Currently, we have 38 guest houses, but still they're not enough. Sometimes you find when they're already full on busy days, but still we've invited more people to come and put up very good hotels.
The fact that the biggest population in Jinja reside here, it has boosted the development of the town and lowered the low cost of doing business. Speaking to the Mayor of Bugembe Town Council, Stephen Wante, he has attributed the development to the better transport network, security of the town, and hospitality of the people in the town council. However, tax collection has remained a challenge, with only about 280 million shillings collected a year.
It's always at 280. We tried 300, but still we couldn't raise it. So it was 280 something. But however, still we have a challenge that we've never got that money. The poor way of sensitizing the community and also some of the civil servants have not done us very well.
Mayor Wante has attributed the poor tax collection to corrupt leadership and lack commitment.
Most of them have not been more committed. There was a lot of forgery of receipts. There's a lot of corruption, issues of tendering process where they give incompetent tenderers who don't even remit the money to councils. So it has affected the performance. But so far, so good. I think we are always, every year, we are within 180 to 200 million per year.
Wante says the leadership has encouraged residents to start up small, medium businesses as a way to check criminality, but also adds to development. However, the growth has also come with other challenges such as teenage pregnancies, prostitution, and the increasing number of street children.
All right, thumbs up to Bugembe Town. Let's take a quick commercial break, but we return with more stories. Welcome back from that break. Moving on, the Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking calls upon the government to extend a tax waiver on producers of clean cooking and environmental saving products to enhance their efforts. The alliance has decried on high taxes on imports and which are basically meant to enhance the production and promote good health. Let's take a look at this report.
The coordinator of the alliance, Alfred Kusima, says government needs to devise means to encourage production of these products and distribution to the lowest users as they enhance efforts to save energy and health. Clean cooking efforts involve using energy-saving stoves, which in turn enhances a reduction in use of natural forests in cooking, which affects the environment.
I'm Alfred, serving as the national coordinator for the Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking. Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking is a member-based organization formed in 2013 with a main goal of ensuring that they coordinate all stakeholders in the clean cooking sector of Uganda. Precisely, we provide a coordination framework for producers and all other persons who play in the value chain of clean cooking sector in Uganda. Clean cooking, we're talking about clean cooking being cooking that saves environment, cooking that saves health, because we are cutting down on air pollution. That's indoor air pollution from the cooking styles that we're using, the rudimentary cooking styles we're using, like a 3-stone fire. And then also cooking that puts money into Ugandans' pockets, because when you use clean technology, you're saving yourself, but also others are also embracing it as a green enterprise. That's why they have to produce stoves, briquettes, and of course other forms of businesses alongside the value chain.
Kusima says efforts are on to sensitize the public on the use of clean energy products to ensure wider use and appreciation. The alliance has engaged the Uganda National Bureau of Standards to enhance standards of the products.
Precisely, good question. Actually, that comes in handy because we are already pursuing a tax waiver as the alliance on clean stoves as well as briquettes for our members. And of course, we realize that members' concerns are coming out loud, that the cost of doing business is very high, which actually translates again to low uptake, because the end users who would have taken on these products don't take them, because they will say they're expensive, because the cost has gone high, because the producer has hiked the costs to meet their margin. Efficiency is also affected, because the producer then may be compelled to produce something that is not to standard, because they want to meet the requirements of the buyers. And of course, again, accessibility will become a problem, because few players or producers will remain active because of the costs that they're incurring resulting from paying or being compelled to respond to the tax obligation as businessmen. As the Alliance, we have made strides on that. In 2016, we did a campaign that was entitled Fumba Live. This was purely a behavior change campaign to see communities in Uganda embrace or change their behavior or attitude towards clean cooking or improved technology for cooking. That notwithstanding, we are also have been part of a couple of campaigns, say the Energy Week campaigns, where we did take part in the exhibitions, and of course our members here did a lot of work around there. Campaigns in northern Uganda, in western Uganda, and of course we are taking this now to even faith-based organizations. I'm glad that the Anglican Church of Uganda, under the leadership of His Grace, Right Reverend Stanley Tagali, I've also embraced a collaborative working relationship that we are going to engage on starting this year. And of course, this will give us mileage, because at the end of the day, we are taking this to the communities. We are taking this to the people of Uganda. And of course, at the end of the day, adoption rates of these technologies will be high, and so we shall be achieving on that, because we believe the more uptake Ugandans are standing on, the better for us, because we want at least every Ugandan to give it the very best and ensure that they are cooking clean. But, our membership is composed of institutions that are mandated to do testing, for example. We have CRIC, we have SECODU. We're working also with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Actually, we're due signing off an MOU. And this, really, I can confirm to you that our members are really doing their very best to test their solutions, to test their stores, to test their fields, and ensure that at the end of the day, they are putting something that meets the standard to the market of where Ugandans have to consume. So I can tell you in brief that we are following that, and we are standing on our ground to say that we want this better and bigger. So I'm glad that the members are responding positively on that.
Right, crossing over now to a little bit of the international news. China has refuted debt and loan concerns by African elites, economic and development experts. Beijing has extended debt and loans to African countries that is estimated to be worth more than all the Western states, the World Bank and the African Development Bank, as well as the G8. Let's take a look at this report.
While on an official visit to Ethiopia, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi played down concern over Africa's debts with Beijing. China has channeled cash and loans into infrastructure projects across the continent, where several African leaders consider Beijing's terms a better deal than those offered by bilateral Western nations. This makes the country the single largest bilateral financier of infrastructure in Africa, exceeding the combined total of the African Development Bank, the European Union, International Finance Corporation, the World Bank and the G8 countries. Chinese foreign investment and construction between 2005 and 2018 totaled to $298 billion in sub-Saharan Africa, according to data compiled by the American Enterprise Institute. Meanwhile, Kenya's loans repayments to China will nearly triple from July 2019 as the 5-year grace period that Beijing extended to Nairobi for the standard gauge rail funds come to an end.
Right, moving on. Following the president's remarks in the relevance of tricyclists, commonly known as tuk-tuku, in clearing the jam in Kampala, the demand of the same is seemingly increasing. Kampala has over 80,000 motorcyclists, which has made the streets rather congested. The issue is, I beg your pardon, and that is the issue is, I beg your pardon, an issue that has been discussed by many. Let's take a look.
Chanda Augustine has been selling motorcycles for a while. He recently switched to selling tricycles after realizing that the demand for them was increasing. The tricycles, popularly known as tuku-tuku, are a real threat to the traditional boda-boda, which had always jammed the city streets. Talking to SMART24, Chanda says, following Mr. Museveni's comments on the same, the demand has increased and more sales are registered.
Like in 2 weeks, you can get like 2 people coming. Another person can come and inquire today, but later on, he comes and pays. It's been so high, but at least he's trying to improve. Maybe about 80 bikes
The tuk-tuks range from 11 million to 12 million in cash, and the loan basis, it may go up to 18 million.
12 million, but also we have it on a loan basis. We can give a loan.
For now, tuk-tuk transport is prominent in the areas of Natete, Tunakauka and Chisenyi, but they are in plans of expanding the business to cover major routes in the city centre.
Tulagiriza tukutuku 245 tusobole okuyingiza e Kampala tumalewo embeera embi abantu gye balimu bambi.
On a daily basis, Alnaito Dennis, a tuk-tuk rider at Natete stage, he says he rides about 7 to 10 routes, charging 1,500 per person to Kasenge and 1,000 on return.
For us, when we entered in this job, we found taxis making that business. So we considered the prices of the taxis. Then from here to Kaseng it is 1,500. Then from Kaseng it is 1,000.
Speaking to SMART24, tuk-tuk passengers expressed the factors that differentiate the tricycles from the other means of transport, citing its durability, weather-friendly and timeliness.
Tukutuku kano gwe gusoose n'okukalinya gwe gugenda okuba omulundi gwawe gusoose. Ekisooka kanguwa mutuula batono ne mugenda naye takisi erwawo ne mubeeraawo naye kano ddakiika budakiika ng'olinnya ng'ogenda.
In agreement to the President's statement of tricycles reducing the traffic jam, the tuk-tuk riders explained that a tricycle carries 4 people who would be carried by 4 usual borders, thus reducing traffic.
Sinzira ensi nga bwetambula mawanga amalala Kenya, Tanzania, mawanga gatwetolodde n'ebweru nga tukutuku zikola nagamba mutufu okumalawo omugoteko gw'ebidduka wano mu Uganda tulina kuyingizawo tukutuku abantu tusobole okukendeeza ebidduka okubeera ebingi. Tukutuku yo ekola omulimu gw'amaanyi ekisookera ddala tukutuku tekola jamu ng'ebidduka ebirala we bikola kubanga.
In terms of transport fares, tricycles charge a similar fare as the taxis for the same distance. Unlike in the past where border and taxi drivers harassed the tricycle riders, they now have good working relations ever since the President endorsed them.
Is not. You know, let me tell you this. These taxis, they are the one giving us customers, and tuk-tukus, they are the one giving them what? Customers. Because you take someone, you may load things which are going to be in the taxi. So you transport them to where? To the taxi. So there is no competition. We are just working. We are just co-working.
For SMART24, Rachel Namianja, Mulindwa Abdua here.
Right, thank you very much, Rachel. That was all we had for the news at this hour. Do stay tuned for more programming here on SMART24 and news in the subsequent bulletins. I am Beatrice Mujuni.